I'm Caleb, and this is 'Cause It's News. Welcome to 'Cause It's News, the show where we bring you all the news from the last week. So you might notice that this is not our normal 'Cause We're Nerds opening, and that's because we are starting a new show that is just going to be the news for the previous week. Now, the reason we're doing this is partially so we can continue to bring you all this news, partially so we have a little bit more time in our normal episodes, so we can talk about those topics a little bit more, maybe do some recurring segments or different things in those episodes. So this is just going to be for news. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. If not, go ahead and roll on over to one of our numbered episodes, and that's going to be our regular weekly show. Now today, I have a very special first-time guest that will probably be showing up on the show quite a lot, and that is my wife, Courtney.
Hi.
You excited to be here?
Oh yes, a little nervous too.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. So right off the bat, we do have some kind of somber news. This actually happened a week or two ago, and Zach and I kind of missed it in our regular show. And that is that Steve Ditko, co-creator of Spider-Man and several other characters, has passed away. Sadly, he was 90 years old.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for someone so creative and to be a part of probably our favorite superhero, Spider-Man. It is sad to see him leave.
Yes, we do wish his family well, and hopefully they are able to move past this tragic event. But moving on to some more happy things, we got our first official detailed look at Shazam. Now, Courtney, you haven't seen this yet, but do you? Oh, you have seen this. Okay, well, you can tell me. You don't just have to shake your head.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a picture of him with someone standing beside him. They're in front of like a little convenience store.
Yeah, they're drinking a drink. Did you take any time to actually notice the costume at all or anything?
Red and yellow.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so no details.
No details.
So we'd actually seen this costume in some leaked pictures a while back, but this is the first high-res photo we've gotten. And initially, I didn't really like the costume. I thought it was a little bland, but I like it here. They've actually added some detailing like they do with most costumes now. I think that's what was missing in the set photos that were farther away. You couldn't see that. And so it kind of looked like the 90s Flash TV show suit, if you've ever seen that. Kind of like padded.
Yeah, I could see that. It's definitely kind of brings back the 90s type superheroes, more bright colors, I noticed. Not so dark and gloomy like the Arrowverse or Flashverse, whichever it's called. So yeah, it's exciting to see.
Are you looking forward to this movie at all, or no?
I don't really know much about Shazam.
Shazam. Oh my goodness. Shazam. There we go.
I guess I'm a little excited. I don't really have much of an opinion on him. DC is not my strong suit. I prefer Marvel. Mm-hmm. But I always enjoy a good superhero movie, so we'll see.
All right, so moving on, we do have some kind of crazy news stuff that came out of left field. Men in Black 4 has actually started filming. Now, we covered this on 'Cause We're Nerds a few weeks ago. We talked about it. I didn't actually think this was ever going to happen, but they've actually started rolling camera, so this is happening.
That's really exciting that they've started filming for this new movie.
So this movie is actually going to star Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, the two people that you know from Thor. Your face is priceless.
Continue.
So Chris Hemsworth, obviously most well known for playing Thor. Tessa Thompson, most well known for playing Valkyrie in Thor Ragnarok, as well as her role in Westworld. Does that make you more interested?
Well, I was already interested. I love Men in Black, so having them join the show will be awesome.
Yeah, so this one is actually set in the UK. So it doesn't look like this is a reboot. It looks like it's kind of like a sidestep sequel.
Kind of like another country representation.
Yeah, like it's I think it's supposed to be a separate branch of the same overall organization.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I think that will be good. And another piece of news that I am very excited about, they have announced a live-action Gundam movie.
Yeah, you were telling me about that earlier this week. I know you were a huge fan of Gundams. You've been building models for a while now.
Yep.
You've gotten me into building some models. You've watched the show, all kinds of things.
Yeah, so this was actually announced at Anime Expo, and the company that makes the Gundam anime, their name is Sunrise. They came out at one of their panels and announced a partnership with Legendary Pictures, who are the people that make the Godzilla movies, they make the King Kong movies. They also made Pacific Rim, the closest thing to a live-action Gundam movie we have gotten thus far. And they announced that they're partnering with them to bring us this Gundam movie. Now, the thing that excites me about this personally is that it isn't just a licensed deal, right? Most of these movies that we get like this, a company comes along, purchases the licenses for the live-action version, and makes it independent of the original creators. This is less of that and more of a partnership, which means they will be working together, which makes me hopeful because I think it'll be closer to the source material.
That's really exciting that they're going to be partnering instead of one pretty much taking over and doing everything. Normally with partnerships, you kind of get more of the original that you're looking for, and with Gundams, I think that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, so there actually was a live-action Gundam movie. I think it was made in Canada. It was made for TV.
Oh my.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've seen some screenshots, and it does not look good. So hopefully this will be better than that. Now, another movie that has been announced is Zombieland 2.
Ooh.
Have you seen the first one?
Yes, I have.
So I actually watched the first one with Zach, maybe Blaine, when I was up there. Wow, that would have been like 10 years ago, because it's 10 years old now.
Oh, wow, it is?
Yeah, right?
Okay.
So the sequel's been in the works for quite a while, and you know how movies go sometimes. They just get stuck in development.
Yeah.
So this one has finally been announced now, and the exciting thing is that everybody's returning. So,
really?
Yeah, so we're going to have Ruben Flesher back in the directorial role, and all the cast members are coming back. Justin Eisenberg, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin, I think is how you pronounce it, and Woody Harrelson, as well as the original writers. And these are the same guys that wrote the first Deadpool movie.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so I liked the first one. I remember it not really being my cup of tea at the time. I haven't seen it since, so I don't know how my feelings are on it.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, it's been a while, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I hope that it's good zombies, because I'm kind of tired of bad zombies.
That would be an interesting twist.
Well, I didn't mean like good hero zombies.
Oh, good zombie! I'm going to come give you a hug.
No, not what I meant. I meant like they're done well.
Oh, okay.
That's funny though. WB is the company that owns DC, and so they make all the DC movies, and the stuff they've been doing has been all over the place. Very confusing. There's been rumors about what movies are and aren't being made, including like 3 different Joker movies that could potentially be being made. But it was announced this week officially by THR that they are making the Joker spin-off origin movie. Now, this one's kind of weird because this is not set in the continuity of the DC movies as we've seen them. So this is not Jared Leto's Joker. This is a different Joker.
Okay.
And the exciting thing is, this is going to be played by Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, that is exciting. I've seen him in several movies, and I really enjoy him as an actor. However, I am struggling to imagine him as the Joker. But I think he will do a lot better than Jared Leto.
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen him in things. I can't really name it. I know that you mentioned earlier when we were talking about this Gladiator. He's in that, and I have seen him in that.
He's in Walk the Line. He plays Johnny Cash.
Okay. I'm not sure what else he's in.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, but from what I know, I think he's a good choice. The images I've seen of him, the things I've heard about him, is that he can really portray like a really dark persona. And I think that really fits the Joker, especially because I think that this film is supposed to be like a lower budget, more of a character study style film, maybe set in the 40s, potentially, like where he's a gangster.
I could see him doing really well with that. He does do well with dark type characters. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he does really well with period pieces. So if it were set in the 40s, I feel like he could really pull that off.
Yeah. And it is going to be directed by Todd Phillips. Now, he's the one that directed The Hangover. I actually don't have anything else in front of me that he has directed, so I'm not really sure. The Hangover was funny, but this isn't going to be a comedy, so I'm not sure how that plays in. But it will potentially be rated R, which could be really good. In my mind, as I'm talking about this, I'm kind of imagining like The Departed. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. The Departed is a really great like mob movie.
Okay.
And if they took that formula and applied the Joker to it, I think it could be really good. We've already recorded it. You guys haven't heard it yet because it's not out. But this Friday, the new 'Cause We're Nerds episode's coming out. And I mentioned in that how I would be excited if Marvel kind of took the same route and talked about, or did movies that were outside their continuity. Because they made decisions about things that, make it so that certain storylines they can't make movies anymore out of.
Yeah.
And if they were make some that were outside of their regular continuity, we could potentially get some really interesting takes on things.
Yeah, I could see that. I am excited to see where they take it. I do think it's good that it's rated R if they do pursue that. I think to have a true Joker movie, to like really capture his origin and like who he was and stuff, you kind of need that rated R to kind of venture into aspects of different things.
Yeah, I mean, he's very murderous, so
right.
It would be hard to have like a really serious movie like that all about him if it wasn't.
No worries, they'll get the good zombies.
Okay.
To have that PG rating.
Sure. Okay. Now, are you a fan of the new Star Wars movies that Disney has been making?
I enjoy them. I'm not as critical in movies as you and Zach are, but I do enjoy the new Star Wars movies.
Okay. Are you a fan of them bringing back Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I have some good news for you.
Yay! Good news.
They are bringing back Billy D. Williams as Lando for Episode 9.
That's exciting. I really enjoyed, and I know that this isn't him, but Donald Glover's impersonation of him in Solo was awesome. So it's exciting to have the original come back for an episode since we haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah. My only concern is he has lost a lot of his mobility in recent years. I know a couple years ago he was on Dancing with the Stars. I know did you see that? Did you not see that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so he was on Dancing with the Stars, and it was a little sad because he really couldn't move around very well.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's almost like he's tiptoeing around. Now, I know that's dancing, and so that's kind of an extreme form of movement.
Yeah,
but
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. I hope that they'll take that into consideration when they're writing his role in the movie. You know?
Yeah, maybe they could do something where he has to ride on something.
Yeah, or like a general, kind of like Leia, where they're standing behind a table and they don't really have to move around a whole lot. I think that would work really well for him and his character. Now, you are a fan of the Avengers. I do know that.
Yes.
Do you like Jeremy Renner?
Yes.
Okay.
Hawkeye.
Yes, Hawkeye. For those of you out there that don't know. This is great news then, because Jeremy Renner is going to play the lead role of Twitch Williams in the new Spawn reboot movie.
What is Spawn again?
Spawn? Okay. So Spawn is a original comic book character created by Todd McFarlane.
Okay.
You probably know Todd McFarlane from the Spider-Man.
Yes, I know the name.
Yeah. So he created Spawn in the 90s. That's like his original creation, his character. And so there's a movie in the 90s that they made that was not very good. We watched that one, I don't know, last year at some point, I think, at work. You stopped by work and we were having a party and it was on.
Yes, that horrible movie.
Yeah, so they're making a new one. I'm not sure how it's going to be. Todd McFarlane's directing, so that's iffy. But they did cast Jamie Foxx as Spawn.
Okay.
Which is interesting. And now they've cast Jeremy Renner in this lead role because apparently Spawn is not going to be the main character. It's kind of going to be like from someone else's perspective.
All right.
So
I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Sound better than the other one?
I mean, it's really easy to make something better than the other one.
Well, I'm personally looking forward to it. I'm curious what they do. I don't have high hopes, but if they pull it off, that would be really, really awesome. Now, moving on into more of the anime world, I've talked about on Cuzzle Nerds a couple times how they are doing a new Dragon Ball movie that is releasing in December in Japan. I wasn't sure if we were going to get this in the US. It has now been announced that we will get this in the US. It's going to come out in January. Funimation is putting it out. They're the same company that does Dragon Ball Super and all that stuff. So I'm assuming it's going to be dubbed, which is exciting. But the other really big piece of information is the title of that movie, which is Dragon Ball Super, Broly. Or Brawly, depending on who you ask. I think it's Broly. Are you familiar with Broly?
Not exactly. I've heard the name thrown around. I know that he's in one of the original 13 Dragon Ball movies. Mm-hmm. But since we have mainly focused on the show and very few of the movies, I haven't actually seen him.
Okay, sure. So he's in more than one of those movies, actually. I think he's in 2 or 3. But those movies are not considered canon to the Dragon Ball storyline.
Right. They're kind of out there stories.
Yeah. And the reason why, well, one is because the original creator didn't make them, but also they don't have a clear place in the timeline because like it'll be before the characters know something, but after they've gained some power that they shouldn't have at that time. So they're kind of weird.
They are very weird.
Yeah. But, Broly, I haven't seen the movie, but Broly is like this legendary Super Saiyan that comes down. He's like this all-powerful character. And he's been very, very popular with the fans over the years. Okay. And so these new movies that they've been doing actually are canon. So the first one of those was Battle of the Gods that kicked off Dragon Ball again. Then they made Resurrection F. Then they went into Dragon Ball Super. And then this is going to be set after Dragon Ball Super because Super has actually ended now. So this is going to be canon, so it's going to be the first time they brought Broly into the canon. But the other interesting thing is the original creator, Akira Toriyama, who is now very heavily involved with everything they're doing. He has redesigned Broly, reimagined him, and so he's going to be the same character, but he's going to be different.
Okay, so maybe, well, it would make sense that he's a little different since it's going to be for a movie that is canon. But I could see fans getting upset because if they're a true fan and they want the original, that can be a little frustrating.
Sure. I've seen responses going both ways. I've seen people really excited. I've seen people not so much annoyed that they've changed him, but annoyed that they're using him and I guess not a new character. For me personally, I'm just excited to see the movie. The trailer looks really interesting. The animation style looks more like the original than Super. Super looks really shiny to me, and
Super does look very shiny compared to Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I will, so long as I'm not busy that weekend, I will be there on that day that it releases in January to see it. We also got some news that the Infinity War DVD is going to come out on July 31st digitally, and then on physical copies, Blu-ray and DVD, right, August 14th of this year. So that will put it at about, let's see, May, June, July, August, 3 months past when it came out or so. So that's a pretty standard time for movies.
Yeah, that's about average.
Yeah, it used to be a lot longer, and now it's gotten shorter and shorter. But it's going to have 3 hours of extras, including bonus footage and deleted scenes.
Oh my, that sounds absolutely amazing.
So I'm not sure about you. I don't think you do, but I used to watch all the special features on all of my DVDs.
I did on some. I always thoroughly enjoyed the gag reels, so I would go and see if my box set of TV show DVDs would have gag reels, or if my movie would have gag reels, and I would enjoy that. Yeah.
So one of the earliest DVDs I had that had special features was Spider-Man 2. And it was packed with, like, I don't know, something stupid, like 8 hours of bonus features. And so I watched all of them, and I was under the impression that everything that had bonus features had 8 hours of bonus features. And I was sorely disappointed as I started to get movies, and they didn't have that many special features. Now, they have started dialing back those because people just aren't watching them as much, and they're doing a lot more digital releases. That's part of the reason, but also Spider-Man just had tons of additional features. So I will definitely watch all of these. As you know, I have the box sets for Phase 1 and Phase 2.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah. I've been holding off for the Phase 3 box set before I get any of the Phase 3 movies. However, I do think I will probably pick up Infinity War before that happens, and I'll just end up with 2 copies.
That's okay. It's always good to have extra of some stuff.
And to round us out today, Fortnite Season 5 is upon us. Now, this is more of a Zach thing. To be honest, he dropped this into our news feed, so I know just the bare minimum about this. But I do know that they're introducing a new vehicle. I think it's supposed to be like an all-terrain vehicle, but it looks like a golf cart.
Oh, fine.
And the map is changing. They're introducing a new desert biome. Now, I am not sure if the map fully changes every time, or if they add on to it, or if they just replace things with each new season. If Zach were here, could enlighten me on that. But I guess cool. I don't play Fortnite that much. What are your thoughts on Fortnite? As a teacher, what are your thoughts on Fortnite?
What are my thoughts on Fortnite? Well, I know that most kids are all about it, so I guess that's great. I've watched some gameplay with it. It's okay. I mean, I get it. You want to be the last one to survive, so that's exciting. But I think once you've played it a couple of times,
Yeah.
I guess that's why they need to bring in new things and stuff like that. But Fortnite's not that big of a deal to me.
Okay. I know a lot of teachers, hate it.
It gets annoying hearing the kids talk about it all the time, but since I've been off for summer, I haven't been hearing it as much, with the exception of Zach. So, there you go.
I hear Zach is secretly a 12-year-old masquerading as a 24-year-old man.
That might be true.
All right, guys. Well, that rounds us out for this week. Courtney, thank you so much for joining me today. I am sure that you will be on the show many, many more times in the future, so be prepared.
Thanks for having me, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better next time.
If you like this new format, please let us know. You can use our email, cuzwerennerds@gmail.com. That's CUZWERENERDS. Or you can go to our website, cuzwerennerds.com, to find all the places that our podcast is available. We are also on Facebook. We're most active on Facebook. So if you need to get into contact with us, definitely go there first. We are on Twitter, but we'll respond to you a little bit later just because we don't check it quite as often as we should. Now, we do have a new episode of Cuz We're Nerds coming out this Friday. That's going to be episode 31. The topic is top 25 board games. These are the games listed on BoardGameGeek.com, so if you're a fan of that, please check that out. And we will see you next Monday with the news from the next week. And as always, stay nerdy.